It's snack time. I'm your host, Marno, and joining us today is my friend Kevin, who is sharing his snack, O's Bubble Instant Boba Pack. Hi, Kevin.
Woo!
How are
Hi,
you?
Michelle.
Welcome
It's good
back.
to be back.
I am so excited for the snack because I have tried this many times, multiple flavors. I have a video on my YouTube channel. O's Bubble actually saw my YouTube video,
What?
commented on it, and asked if they could post it on their Instagram. I keep forgetting because they posted it the day of the United States election.
Oh.
So I was not about to share it that day, and
A
I keep
little
forgetting.
overshadowed.
Well, also I wasn't about to share it from their page on that day. You know what I mean?
No. But you
So
should share it now with this
yes,
episode.
I know.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I will do it. I will do it.
So I will say
Um,
that, real quick, that your
yes.
YouTube video was how I learned about this product. And then a couple weeks ago, well, I figured it was just something that they had in the States, which makes
Hmm.
no sense now that I think that you bought it in a Japanese market that imports goods.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it was only available there. And then my roommate came home and she's like, "Oh, I found this instant boba thing." I was like, "I'm pretty sure that's the thing that my friend made a video about that I've always wanted to try." And then so
Yes.
that's how I found out that it was available here in a market that's near my old apartment. So,
Yay! Oh, okay, I'm glad. I mean, yeah, it's from Taiwan, so
mhm.
yeah. But I didn't know, where they would ship it to and stuff either. So I'm
Yeah,
glad that it's available in
I
Canada.
know.
Okay, so before we get really into, you know, this boba, instant boba, but also boba in general in the world, we need to find out if you're a salty or sweet snacker because you were on an episode way early in the game before I started asking my guests. And it's really important. I mean, I personally like both salty and sweet, but always say I'm a salty because I'm a salty kind of
Mhm.
gal. So, Kevin, are you a salty or sweet snacker?
Okay, so I'm like you because we're kind of the same person. I like
Especially when it comes
salty
to
and
food.
sweet. Yeah, especially food. It's like Filipino food is generally salty and sweet, anyways.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
things like tocino, even adobo has like those caramelized
Yep.
bits on the end.
Hmm.
And so, like, my palate is very geared towards salty and sweet. I can't really
Hmm.
choose one. I love dessert, but I also love like salty things. Like, I'm a
Hmm.
beef jerky and like, um, sausage type of
He
person.
says in his tank top with his muscles showing, I'm a
No.
beef jerky kind of person. I do, what is it called? Dragon boat, fitness.
I just meant beef jerky, and then I like how salty it is.
No, but with your biceps
I'm a
showing.
beef
Yeah.
jerky.
I need my protein.
Which is funny because, like, most people who do that don't like a lot of salt because salt bloats you or
Hmm.
whatever, like water weight or something. So they'll eat a lot of just like plain chicken breast.
Oh, God.
Um, but
Prison.
yeah, back to salt and sweet and salty. I think when it comes to snacks, I guess I'm versatile but leaning salty. Just because I'm
Verse.
gonna say
Verse salty.
versalty. I'm versalty. It sounds like Versace.
It does.
I'm versalty because just I'm gonna say salty just because my first episode was chips.
Yeah.
But to be fair, those chips that I picked, the honey Dijon ones, those were sweet too.
Yeah.
So what can you do?
Well, and if you have a salty snack, you're probably more likely to have a more sweet beverage to have that
Yeah.
balance, which is where boba comes in.
But then also I also eat sweet
Yeah.
snacks. Yeah, like
But
I'll
with a
snack
sweet
on
snack,
cookies.
do you also have a sweet drink or do you go for with water or something?
Usually water or a salty
Yeah.
drink. Just kidding. There's no
Salty.
salty
There
drink.
is though. There is
What?
Bloody Marys or
Okay, Bloody
savory
Mary.
drinks, and I
Let's
can't get
be
behind
real.
them. I can't get
Bloody
behind
Marys and
them.
Caesars. Caesars are the Bloody Mary of Canada. It's very similar, just it has clamato juice instead of tomato.
It has
Um,
what?
Clamato juice, to be
What
honest,
is
don't
that?
know what that means. I don't know. But people are like, Caesars aren't Bloody Marys, but they're the same thing. Either way, I think that they're just alcoholic soup.
Literally was
Cold
gonna say
alcoholic
it's
soup.
cold alcoholic soup. That's what it is, and I'm not about that because I like hot soup
Hmm.
and I like sweet or no flavor drinks.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not a
If you're
savory
putting
beverage.
Worcestershire sauce in it, that's not a drink or a cocktail
No,
anymore. That is a soup.
that's a soup. Which is like, that's fine if that's what you want, but that's not what I want.
No,
Ugh, I'm
no.
like so against snack shaming, but if your snack is a Bloody Mary, like, what are you
You,
doing?
yeah. Also,
And I know Nicole, you were listening, but and I know she loves Bloody Marys. I just don't get it. My
well, the good
flavor
thing about a
palette doesn't
Bloody Mary is
understand.
that if it's a drink that comes with a snack because you get to chomp on the celery stick, right?
That's
So
true.
like,
Some of them come with like bacon, like those
yeah,
insane
those
olives.
or ones that come with like a burger and a hot dog and a slice of pizza on it. Like that's too much.
Stop.
Just give me a plate.
Well, and that's when it's like that's totally a side soup.
No, at
It's a
that
cup
point,
of
that's a
tomato
meal.
soup. Like, which I guess good for you. You're having like a very well-rounded meal at that point.
I
But
mean,
it's
is it
like,
well rounded if it's all just pub food?
oh, I don't know. That's tomato juice. Tomato juice has got to be good for you.
Yeah, I guess. Tomato juice only tastes good on the plane, but that's science for another
I
day.
literally have never ordered tomato juice. My
Okay,
plain
well,
drink is like a ginger ale or a
a quick
cranberry
dive
juice.
into the science of it. Apparently, when you're on a plane, something about the pressure. This is just from a YouTube
Yes,
video
yes,
that I
yes,
watched.
yes.
Something about
I
the
think I've
pressure
seen
like
it.
makes your taste buds not
Yes.
go very well. So a lot of people like tomato juice because for some reason it tastes good. They're
Yeah,
like
you need like a more amplified flavor when
it's
you're
more
on a
punchy.
plane.
Yeah.
That's why like plain food tastes bland. It's not necessarily less salty or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's
It's
like
because of the air
the air
pressure or
pressure.
something, the elevation.
Was it on like SciShow? Maybe. Did you?
Probably. One of those things, one of the Hank and Green YouTube
Yeah,
things.
or like Minute Physics, or like any of those.
ASAP
But yeah,
Science.
ASAP Science. Yes.
Fun fact: ASAP Science lives in my neighborhood, and
What?
Mitch used to be. I don't know if he still is, but shout out to you, Mitch. We met at a Christmas party for my friend's gym because he used to be his personal trainer.
What? That's so cool.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
I've seen them walking their dog around, but
I mean,
I
like
don't.
that's a really cool YouTuber because like that channel like teaches people things.
Yeah, and they're gay, so it's fun.
It's even better.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, back to boba. I
Yeah,
actually haven't even tried this drink. I think I put too much milk.
it looks very light.
Should I do a stir for the pod, the audio people,
Yeah.
since they can't see it? Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear the clinking.
I'm drinking it in a pint glass
That's
because
what I like to do too. It makes it more fun. What flavor is yours? Is it the classic? Is it the brown sugar?
it's the light blue one, so I think it's the classic.
Just the classic
That's good.
black.
That's perfect.
And
Even though
like,
it looks a little light.
yeah, the boba balls. Well, yeah, because the syrup is like pretty strong.
Hmm.
And the boba balls, because you like cook them fresh, are just like so squishy and warm, and they're so
Oh,
good.
they're
I
so
love
good.
boba.
So I've this is the only flavor of the instant boba I've tried.
Mhm.
What other flavors have you had? You said that there's a bunch.
There are a bunch, but at my store there are only two, so I kind of lied. I've only had two different
Is it the
flavors.
red one and the blue one?
um, what color is the other one? I think it's brown. Well, it's brown sugar. So I've had the classic like black tea
Mm-hmm.
flavor and the brown sugar
Isn't
flavor.
the blue box the brown sugar?
Oh, I don't know. One is
'Cause
pink
I'm
and
pretty
one
sure I
is
have the blue
blue.
box and I have the brown sugar one.
Oh, okay.
But I'm
Then the
looking at the
pink
picture.
box must be
Black
regular.
tea. Yeah.
Okay. So I've tried both of them. I do like both, but again, like it plays into am I having it with something? Like what time of day is it? What is my mood? Because I'm typically someone who gets boba and I get like a classic flavor, like that's my go-to, especially if it's going to be like my drink with like a bag of chips or like,
Hmm.
something complimentary. But if I'm like going to have it as like a dessert or a treat, especially by itself, then I'll go for the brown sugar and it's more of like a sugary sweet
So is the black
experience.
tea just like less sweet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is still sweetened, like probably
Hmm.
still a lot of sugar, but it's not as sweet as the brown sugar.
Got it.
Yeah.
Um, this like one thing I love about this instant boba is that like you said in your YouTube video, it's only like well here it was like $9,
hmm
but $9 you get a pack of four, whereas
Yep.
like normally $8 or $9 is like one bubble tea drink
hmm
at a shop. So
Even if it's like a $5, it's like that's still only gonna get you. half of what you could get for the
Exactly.
same price.
I will say
with
though that
instant.
you do have to stay stocked on milk for people who
Yes.
but what's nice is you get to pick your own milk.
I really like that because I like to use oat milk,
Mhm.
and it is also like thicker. So it has
Mm.
like the regular milk consistency, but it's not regular milk, so it's not going to give me diarrhea.
I use lactose-free milk.
Like Lactaid, I used to always get that too. I
Mhm.
like that.
Okay, quick question about your milk preferences.
hmm
What like percentage do you like? Like 1%, 2% whole milk, which is technically 3.5%, I think.
Oh, is it really?
Mhm.
I think, I mean, I haven't had regular milk, or I also haven't bought Lactaid milk
Mhm.
in a long time. Oh, dang it, the phone is ringing. Sorry if you hear that in the background.
I barely heard it,
Okay.
so.
Good. I think I would usually go for 2%. Like
Mm.
1% is like water. Whole
Full
milk
water.
is kind of too thick.
Mm.
Um, unless it's like in stuff. I think if you're like cooking with milk or making something with it, whole milk is a lot more flavorful and better. But
Mhm.
if it's like part of a drink, or if I'm like having milk and cookies, which I don't do often, but sometimes I like to, I think 2% is more of like a beverage milk consistency.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
What do you usually go with?
I was always a milk kid, so like I grew up drinking milk like after dinner,
Uh-huh.
like just a straight up glass of milk. So
Yeah.
when I was a kid, my mom always used to buy vitamin D milk, which is why I have a sunny
Oh.
disposition. It's like the one with the red cap.
Wait, that seems familiar.
But
Maybe
now
that when I was little.
I buy 3.5.
3.5.
So I think that's whole milk.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like the
Interesting.
flavor. It just tastes good.
I mean,
Although like
yeah, the flavor of milk is so delicious.
yeah. Although, for plant-based versions, oat milk is a good because it has that nice consistency, right?
hmm
So,
I think people say coconut milk is also really good, but I've only begun to dabble in the coconut realm because I've been
I don't
allergic
like
to it my whole life.
oh
So
yeah. I don't like coconut flavor, so I just
I
avoid
think,
it.
yeah, it flavors things, I think is the
Yeah.
problem. Like oat milk is pretty bland,
Mhm.
so it's like a good milk
Do you
kind of
find that
taste.
when you use the oat milk with the instant boba, that it like does that weird curdly thing, like when you put it in
I
coffee?
No. Wait, I haven't noticed a curdly thing
Because that sometimes
in
happens with
coffee.
almond milk.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think the oat milk has ever curdled. I will say oat milk tends to have a little bit of sweetness.
Mm.
So when I make my O's instant bubble tea, I usually add milk and water to like water it down a
Oh,
little bit because then it just gets kind of too sweet for me.
got it. And you're a salty gal.
Yeah. Well, and it's like when things are too sweet, I can only have like a very small amount. And it's like if it's a drink,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like toss the rest of my drink away. And I want to chomp on all those little bobies. I
Bobies.
boba bobies, little balls of tapioca are just
Mm.
so good.
People here don't know what I'm talking about when I say boba. Well, I
Do
think
they
now
call
they
it
do.
bubble?
They say bubble tea. So
hmm
they'll say like with
Okay.
bubbles or pearls. But
So do you want to like, I have some fun facts and like a little short article on like the history of boba. Do
oh
you want to hear
yes.
it?
Tell
Okay,
me while I sip on this.
perfect. You can have your little like boba break while I read this to you. Oops,
Them
that's not what I
bobies,
wanted.
Nikki.
Bobby. Wait, what is the whole thing? Wait, okay, can
Damn,
you
Nikki, them
explain?
bobbies.
Yeah. So like Nicki Minaj posted a picture and then someone
yeah,
commented,
she
Dan and Nikki, those Bobby.
those bobbies, but now we're changing it to bobies because of boba.
Boba. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is from Bubble Tea Supply Company. They have like a bubble tea history on their website, and it was like
Well, that's
one of the
cool.
first things to pop up on Google. So I was like, sure, let's go with that. I did also read another article, and it basically has the same information though. So I think this
Perfect.
is,
That's called
credible.
corroboration. Corroborating your research.
Yes.
Multiple sources.
I'm trying over here. So it says, if you visit Taiwan or Hong Kong, you can't help but notice the unique bubble tea shops on every corner. Bubble tea to Taiwan is what coffee or soda is to the US. One would think bubble tea is the national drink by its popularity. Just like in Taiwan, bubble tea shops are popping up all over the world. One Taiwan based company, oh dang it, I scrolled and then the whole thing went away.
Oh no.
Wait, Bubble Tea Supply, fix your website. Okay. One Taiwan based company has over 450 locations, while in the Philippines, another person owns over 100 within 1.5 years.
Oh
The
damn.
US is also now feeling the growth. Hundreds of locations serve bubble tea in California alone. You may be wondering, what is bubble tea and how did this all begin? Bubble tea originated in Taiwan in the early 1980s at a small tea stand. Elementary school children would look forward to buying a cup of refreshing tea after a long, hard day of work and play. Tea stands were set up in front of the schools and would compete for business with the best selling tea. One concession owner became popular with her tea when she started adding different fruit flavoring to her tea. Because of the sweet and cool taste, children loved the taste. Not the best written sentence. Sorry.
It's me. I'm children.
A child wrote that sentence. Soon, other concessions heard about the unique and popular tea, so they started to add flavoring to their teas. When adding flavor, the tea and flavoring needed to be shaken well for a good all around taste. This formed bubbles in the drink, which came to be known as bubble tea.
Oh.
In 1983.
Wait, so the original bubbles weren't tapioca? They were just
Yes.
actual bubbles?
Yes. It keeps
What?
going though.
Oh my
Also,
goodness.
I apologize if I mispronounce this name. In 1983, Liu Han-che introduced Taiwan to tapioca pearls. The new fad was to add tapioca pearls into a favorite drink. Most of the time, tapioca pearls were served in cold infused tea. After the tea and flavor were shaken well, it topped tapioca pearls that were sitting on the bottom of a clear cup. The tapioca pearls also looked like bubbles, thus also became known as bubble tea. Bubbles floated on the top of your drink and bottom of your drink. Bubble tea is also known as boba drink, pearl tea drink, boba iced tea, boba nai cha, jen jiao nai cha, pearl milk tea, pearl iced tea, black pearl tea, tapioca ball drink, BBT, PT, pearl shake, QQ, which means chewy in Taiwanese, which I think is the cutest, and possibly many others. Bubble drinks are usually cool, refreshing, and a sweet drink with tapioca pearls sitting on the bottom of a clear cup. Sometimes the drink is made with fresh fruits, milk, and crushed ice to create a healthy milkshake. You can also find drinks that are made of powdered flavoring, creamer, water, and crushed ice. And if you like it like the Asians do, the cool drink usually includes a healthy tea infused by a flavoring. And then it goes on and on to describe different flavors of tapioca.
Like it like the Asians do.
I mean, yeah. So.
Okay, I will say that when I was a kid, well, like obviously bubble tea has a long history, but when I was a kid, I used to love the Filipino drink sago at gulaman.
I don't think I even know what that is.
It's like this dark syrupy drink, and it has tapioca in it. And it's like made with brown sugar.
Is it like a drink version of taho, but no like tofu in it?
Yes. It's like that, but it's like cold and like I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Because taho you eat hot. It's like a hot sweet soup, basically.
But it has tapioca in it, right?
It has tapioca and
it's sweet.
Tofu.
And it's sweet.
It's like a dark syrupy soup.
Yeah. Sometimes with these Filipino names like of dishes, I'm like, is that what I think I'm thinking of? I had to Google sago at gulaman to make sure it's not the like. There's also that other like it like looks like a fruit salad, but it has like rice balls in it. I forget.
Not halo halo.
No, I forgot what it's called, but it's not.
Yes. It's like their version of like ambrosia.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you're talking about, and I think it's made with coconut milk, right?
I think so. Yeah, and it has like those like chewy rice balls in there, but like the rice balls are kind of thready, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've never had it because it's always like coconut milk.
Oh, true, because you're allergic. But it is very good, but it's not what I wanted to talk about.
But like, it's cool because Filipino cuisine is influenced by so many different countries. I mean, they're
Mhm.
islands, first of all, so there's like a lot of different variations on things because island to island, there's different versions, but then it's also
Mhm.
like really close to a lot of different Asian countries. And
And
so
then
there's like
Spanish
so many,
influence.
yes. I love Filipino food.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they that the Philippines was even like specially mentioned in the history
Hmm.
that
But I feel
was
like
one of the first
Filipinos,
countries to start picking it up outside of
yeah,
Taiwan.
they love like what's the new thing? Like,
Hmm.
you know, so fun.
Makes sense.
So when did you first start drinking boba? Because it wasn't like part of my childhood for sure. I think I started drinking it maybe in high school
I want to
or
say
no, maybe
like
no, college.
oh, for me it was probably high school because I
Mhm.
think they started opening up bubble tea shops in California around like
Mhm.
then. Like they started getting popular, and like
Yeah.
my older sister and her friends would go get bubble tea, and then they
Mhm.
like showed it to us. But like if you're talking to Sago at Gulaman, like I was drinking that as a child, a
Yeah.
wee
Wait, so
thing.
are we counting that as boba?
I would say yeah.
Because it
I wouldn't
has
say
boba
it's a
in it.
boba. It's well, there's Sago pearls, and I don't know if that's like the same kind of tapioca
Yeah, I guess
as,
so. Yeah.
but it might be. But it's made with tapioca pearls, brown sugar, gelatin powder, and vanilla extract. At least this recipe that I
Yeah.
googled real quick. So and ice. So like it's just like a light syrupy thing. It's not milky though.
Mhm.
But I'm sure that if you put milk in sago, it would just become bubble tea.
Yeah. Well, and like the term bubble tea has become so varied. Like there's fruity things,
Hmm.
there's like Oreo cookie bubble tea.
Yeah, you
Because
can
I think
add
it's
pearls to milkshakes,
yeah, you can
basically
add pearls to
smoothies.
anything. So I'd say it does count. So yeah, you've been
Yeah,
having boba for a long time.
for a long, long time. But who's counting?
I remember when I first had boba, it was in college, and I was like, wait, there's like little chewy things in your drink. Cause at the time I was like, how I'm like, I don't want a savory drink. I want a sweet drink
Mhm.
or a drink with no flavor. At the time, I was also like, I don't want a drink that I have to chew. And now
Yeah.
I'm like, I love this drink that I have to chew. So that was like a weird thing that I had to get past. But then when I first had one, I mean, I love chewy things, I love squishy things.
Hmm.
And so I was like, wait, this is life changing. And that was in
Yeah.
San Francisco at the time. And now I've loved it ever since.
Yeah. I think I've loved tapioca
Hmm.
all my life. Like
Tapioca
tapioca
pudding.
pudding.
Yes. I think that's
And
like
then
such a Filipino thing to like.
yeah. Or if you go to like certain Chinese restaurants and
Hmm.
they give you that tapioca soup at the end of the night,
Yes. Oh my
a
God.
dessert
What is
soup,
that
and sometimes
called?
I have no clue, probably
It's
some
so
it
good.
has
It's
a Chinese
literally
name.
sweet soup with like little tiny tapioca
Tiny
in it.
tapiocas, and sometimes they'll have like the little squiggly
Uh-huh,
line
uh-huh, uh-huh.
ones that are like little
Oh,
jellies.
they're so
Um,
good.
and like sometimes they'll be like iced with like bits of watermelon. Oh, I love me some
Never
desserts.
had that.
Really? So it's like tapioca and it's a little more watery, and then they'll have like chunks of watermelon in there. It's
Oh, I've only had the warm version. Wow, I need to find a
mm,
place that does that. Or I guess I could try to make it, but
yeah. It might be a
um,
summer thing. I don't know.
yeah, that makes sense. Oh my
But yeah,
gosh.
I've always been a tapioca kid.
I
QQ.
okay,
Which is
I
so
really
cute. I didn't know that that was supposed to mean chewy.
me neither. I've never seen it described as QQ, and now I just want to call it that all the
I've
time.
seen so okay, so I've seen QQ pudding, which is like kind
Oh,
of like leche flan,
uh-huh.
like Filipino leche flan, but like
Mhm.
I mostly have seen QQ in the context of QQ pudding popsicles, which have bits of
What?
tapioca in them,
Where do
and
you
they're
get
so good.
these?
Anywhere that you can get boba popsicles, like
I've
bubble tea
never even
popsicles.
seen that.
Oh my
Or
gosh,
maybe
so
it might be at the Japanese market
it
near me,
probably
but I
is.
probably just
So
haven't looked.
if you go into like the frozen section next time you're
Mhm.
there, look for a black box that has like a popsicle that looks like an inverted bubble tea drink. It's like covered in brown sugar, tastes exactly the same. I'm sure if you
What?
melted it into some warm or into some milk, it would
Just
become a
yeah.
boba thing. And then they also have QQ pudding, which is like a pudding pop that has like little tapioca thing like strips in it. And the
Uh-huh.
strips are kind of like the squiggly strips that are in the
Uh-huh.
soup. And then it has a brown sugar cap. So it's like it looks like a pudding.
how cute. I
Yeah.
like
Cute,
cutesy things are so cute. Okay, this morning I went to Trader Joe's and I got these like little cheesecake like cone thing, like frozen cheesecake cone things.
Ooh,
I've
that
never had
sounds
them
good.
before, but I was like, I want something like a little like frozen dessert because I haven't had ice cream in a long time. So I was kind of looking at the ice cream, but then I
I've been
saw
eating ice
these.
cream all quarantine.
I like go through phases, especially with
Mm,
sweet stuff. Like I don't
that's
always have
fair.
sweet stuff. My parents do. Like my mom bought this tiramisu from Costco. And I'm like, I can only have so much tiramisu. Like I had it like 2 nights for dessert after dinner this week, and then I was like, I'm done. Like tiramisu is not something I want like more than I guess twice
Yeah,
in
I
a
guess.
while.
Can I
So
say that whenever we go on, whenever I'm on this, which is, this is only the second time, but we always end up talking about so many other foods.
well, because I think it's really because we both have like the exact same taste in foods and like the
Yeah.
shared Filipino culture, like because
And we just love
Filipino
food so
cuisine
much.
like goes in every direction. I
Yeah.
feel
Except for
like
spicy. There's not a lot of spicy Filipino
true,
food.
true.
Yeah.
It's like the spice sometimes is from like vinegar or like pickled things.
Yeah.
Like
And
the spicy, what is it called? Like the dipping vinegar that has like you put the
suka?
peppers. Is that what it's called?
Suka? Or
Mm-hmm.
like it's like vinegar with a little bit of garlic and peppers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Like
sure.
that's sometimes spicy.
Yeah. But it's not like spicy like Korean food or like
Oh my
Mexican
gosh,
food.
yeah.
Like that shit is spicy. Filipinos can't handle
Oh
the spice.
yeah.
Filipino
Yeah.
flavors are like salty, sweet, fatty, and sour.
Sour, yeah.
Yeah. Those are the four like staples of Filipino cuisine.
I just and I love vinegar so
Yeah.
much.
Have
And
you
oh,
go ahead.
what?
Go ahead. No.
Well, I was gonna say like a perfect pairing with these ultra sweet frozen bubble teas
Mhm.
is like a salt and vinegar chip
I've never tried that. I've never
because it's
even
like
thought
it's
to do
that
that.
sour vinegar flavor that makes your mouth water, and then you have some boba. And it's just like
Mm.
the crunchy, the chewy, the sweet, the salty. It's like such a good dichotomy of flavor.
Oh, I will have to try that next time. I'll buy me
Yes.
some. See, my thing is like I'm not a big fan of salt and vinegar chips, so I'll
Yeah.
only really eat them if I so happen to have them.
Yeah.
Um, or if someone brings them to a party. Call back. Call
Oh my
back.
gosh, we love a good callback. Wait, what were you gonna say before I started
Oh, I was
talking?
gonna say, did your mom ever make like as a snack make apples and vinegar?
No?
So what my
What?
mom liked to do when we were kids, which she would slice up a bunch of apple slices. It would
Uh-huh.
usually be like some sort of like crispy sweet apple, and
Mm-hmm.
then she would just have like a bowl of vinegar, and then you like dip it, and then you eat it. It is so good, and I don't like vinegar too much,
I
so
love vinegar and dipping
you need
things in
to you need
vinegar.
to try it. Just like
Just
get some
plain
vinegar.
white vinegar?
I'll double check with my mom, but I'm pretty sure, yeah.
What? I'm
Yeah.
surprised, honestly, because my mom's the kind of person that like with certain fruits, she'll like maybe sometimes sprinkle some salt on it and things like
Hmm.
that. So I'm surprised I've never seen her
Yeah.
dip things in vinegar.
But yeah, apples and vinegar, you got to try it. I haven't had it in a long time because I don't snack very often when it
Yeah.
comes to like fruit. I have an
Mhm.
Asian pear that's been sitting in my fridge for like weeks.
Oh
It's not bad
no.
yet though. Like
Yeah, I mean
it's
they're pretty sturdy fruits.
yeah, but
Well, speaking of fruits and like nutrients, I have a fun fact about
okay,
boba that
throw
has
it
to
at
do with
me.
that. Boba lacks all vitamins, minerals, and fiber. And so you might experience constipation after but I guess this is a thing. Like a lot of people get constipated after they eat boba because it's like literally just the most empty carbs you could ever have. Isn't
That
that wild?
BBC
But it's
boba
so good.
constipation.
It is not cute, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, I don't know if I've ever experienced constipation after having boba, but like I definitely feel like, oh, I just ate a lot of tapioca.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I don't think I've ever like been constipated and been like, oh, I had boba earlier, but maybe now I will now that I know this fun
I
fact.
know I need to like think about it like the next time I have
But
it,
I
and I'm not
wonder
even having it right now.
what if you're having like a like obviously the tea versions won't, but like what if you're having something like a taro smoothie with bubble tea in it and like the taro is made with like real taro? Wouldn't that have some sort of fiber in it?
Yeah, I think they're just talking about like the tapioca balls themselves,
Oh, got it.
because
Is it?
like,
But that's rice. Isn't there like something in the rice?
well, okay, so another fun fact.
Hmm.
According where did I get this information? I don't even know. I did not cite it, but
Oh,
it says
there goes her double research sources thing. Now
that
she's
was
just
just for the
pulling
history.
things out of the blue.
It was probably from the same site,
Okay,
um,
we'll say that.
which is a company that makes tapioca. So they would know what it's made out
Okay.
of, or at least this is what theirs is made out of. But it says tapioca is made by extracting starch from cassava root,
Hmm.
which is a long tuberous plant in
Yeah,
Brazil.
yeah. Like Filipinos make
Yeah.
cassava cake.
But so I guess cassava, whatever happens in the process making it into tapioca balls, like
Yeah.
the nutrients goes
Cassava flour,
away.
fun fact, is also a good flour for people who are gluten free.
Oh, good to
Yeah,
know.
I had one of my old bosses used to be, or she is gluten free, but she's not my boss anymore. She used to bake a bunch of stuff, and she always used cassava flour.
Did it have any like difference in what
Nope.
it felt or
Her
tasted like?
cookies, her gluten free cookies, were probably the best cookie I've ever tasted, and they on top of like regular cookies too.
Sometimes like the gluten-free stuff is actually really good.
Yeah, you
Like
just
the
have to make it
Trader
right.
Joe's gluten-free um like chocolate chip cookies, they're like crunchy cookies and they're so good.
Oh my gosh, we're not going to get into cookies because I have plans for another
Oh
episode
my god.
later on, but which is Pillsbury Break and Bake cookies,
Yes.
which are the fucking best.
They're so good. And I do like want to get some soon, like the Christmas
Hmm.
kind. So you'll need to come back soon so I
Yeah,
have an
eh,
excuse to buy them for the
of
pod.
course. I meant to come back earlier, but then for some reason I just kept forgetting to like schedule
Well,
it with you.
and things
And
just
then I
got,
saw your tweet.
yeah, things kind of got crazy. Like once I started my new job, like
Hmm.
my schedule and like when I record and edit has obviously changed because I no longer just have all the time in the world.
Yeah, you're not just
So
sitting at home.
yeah. So I like took 2 weeks off of the pod because I was like, I just need to like figure
Yeah.
out like what I'm gonna do. Last week I didn't have an episode, but I wanted to try those Trader Joe's cornbread crisps. So I was like, I guess this is the episode. Like,
And that's good. That's fine.
yeah,
That's I love that you have that format that makes it easier for you, you know?
yeah. Thank you. I love it too.
But back to fruit. Do you like fruity boba?
I don't think I've ever even gotten fruity boba.
Like you've never had like a fruity smoothie version and then put
Mm-mm.
bubbles in there?
No, I never get smoothies or milkshakes. I always get a milk tea, but I do change up. Like, I love a classic black milk tea, but sometimes I'll get like a brown sugar or a lavender if it's available. I really like lavender milk tea.
Lavender.
It's
I've never seen
so
that.
good. Or like matcha milk tea or green, just, regular green tea milk tea. In college, I used to love chocolate milk tea because it
Mm.
basically just tasted like chocolate milk with boba in it, which is so
That
good.
sounds so
I
good.
haven't had that in years. Maybe next time I like go get boba,
I've
I will
never
get
seen that.
some.
Like the closest thing to chocolate I've ever seen is like the Oreo kind of.
Hmm.
uh,
Well, this was I don't now that I'm thinking about it because I haven't like looked at the menu for a chocolate milk tea. I think since San Francisco,
mm.
um, but the place that I would get it the most was on campus, and it was one of those like I don't remember the name of the company, but it was like a fast food milk tea brand where I think it's all like pre-made with like powder and
Oh,
stuff. It's not like real tea. So I think
yeah.
it made it easier for them to just like do
A
chocolate milk.
fast food.
It was like just like a little window, but they had like such good banh mi sandwiches. Like the
Ooh.
food from the window, because it was in the like student center of my college. The like food that they had was like pretty good, but then the boba was like you know, just
Just
in
okay.
these giant vats of pre-made boba drinks.
Yeah, you know what? It's like what people say about pizza, though, is like bad boba is still good boba.
Yeah, unless it's like, oh my God. Okay. I have like a baby rant because when this happened to me, I was so upset. So after college, when I moved back home the first time, now I've moved back home for the second time. You know, I
No
was like,
shame, no shame.
no shame. It's just like fucking annoying, but you know, COVID, whatever. Your girl is itching to move out, is what I'm saying.
Oh. You heard it here first, folks.
I mean, I went from like, you know,
yeah,
I had roommates, but like I was on my own. And then I moved back home and I'm just like,
yeah. I also remember you, I don't know if this is like on the record, you can edit this out, but I remember you saying that you wanted to like move into your own apartment.
Yeah, I did. Like
Potentially.
that was the plan. My plan, like basically a year ago, I started thinking about it, was to move to Jersey City because it's way cheaper there and get my own place.
Yeah.
But
And then we were
obviously
supposed
that
to
didn't
visit
happen.
and like stay in your second bedroom.
There was a whole, because I could have afforded at the time a 2-bedroom apartment in Jersey City because
That's
not only
wild.
like is it way cheaper there, but I also was like making so much money at the time. I mean, live-in nannies make a lot because it's a lot to ask someone to live and like not go home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I could ever afford get on my like it's so crazy. Like also just like the fact that Jersey City is like so much more affordable than New York City or LA, you know? Anyway, what was I even going to talk about? Oh, I was going to talk about when I moved back home after college, I was on the hunt for the boba places. And, you know, at the time, a lot were popping up. And so I would go to downtown Fullerton, and there's multiple boba places in downtown Fullerton.
Yeah.
But there was one place, I don't remember what it was called, but it was so good. And it was like always just like the nicest people working there. And it was always so fresh. And then one day I went, and I had heard that it had changed ownership, but it still like looked exactly the same. And like there were people in there and I was like, oh, it's probably still good. And I get it and I get my drink, get in the car, take a sip, a boba ball comes in my mouth and it crumbled. Crumbled.
That's the opposite texture that you
literally the exact. I was disgusted. And I like, yes, boba is only part of it. Like you also have like the milk tea, which was good.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like half
like,
of why I got this drink was.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do if they're all crunchy? You like suck it up and spit it out? Like what?
Literally, I like avoided getting the bubbles and just like drank the drink. And it was so sad. And then I never went back. Because I was like, this must be because it's the new, like the only thing that I knew that was different was the owners. And obviously that wasn't going to change anytime soon.
Yeah.
And I was so sad because they had like lavender, they had, you know,
damn.
It wasn't as like Americanized feeling, I guess. So it was like more like
it felt authentic.
Yeah. I mean, as authentic, I guess, as it could have been.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, I was so mad. And I like told my mom, I was like, this is crumbling in my mouth. I'm so pissed.
You know what? That's fair. That's totally a fair assumption. Or a fair like reaction to finding crumbly boba. I thought you were gonna say it was crunchy.
Like, I don't imagine even know how you like biting it. That's just like not even cooked.
Yeah.
That's just like dry boba before you cook it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also how is something dry while sitting in liquid? Like that's special.
That is. It was not QQ, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, not QQ. You heard it here first.
If the boba is not QQ, then I don't want it. That's the point of boba, the chewiness.
The worst boba I've ever had, which I was like, let me try a new flavor. And so I think I tried like an oolong or something like that.
Ooh, I love oolong tea.
Yeah. And I've had oolong since and they've all been good, but what I'm pretty sure happened was whoever was working at this bubble tea shop that used to be by my old house, I think they washed the blender and didn't rinse it properly
Oh
because my
no.
boba tasted like soap.
That's
And
disgusting.
by the
That's
time
not good to drink.
no, not at all. But by the time I like had my first sip, I was too far away from the place to like go back and complain. So
Yeah,
I
like I
just
was
threw it
already in my
away.
car, like when
Yeah.
I drank mine. I feel that. Oh,
Yeah. So I just tossed it. And that was back when I was like treating myself to a bubble tea like once a month
oh,
so that I
that's
don't
so
have it too often
sad.
because it was yeah. But oh well.
That's the thing with boba. Like when it's
Mhm.
bad, it's bad.
But I would say that like those two instances were like very like those won't even qualify as bad.
That's
Like
true.
that's saying like because people say like bad pizza is still good and
Yeah.
like whatever, but like if you burn a pizza or if you undercook a pizza, that doesn't count, you know?
Yeah, like it wasn't prepared properly. But like
Yeah.
sometimes that can happen. Like a few like not I wouldn't even say a handful, like maybe like one or two times I've gotten boba and you could tell that the boba wasn't fresh
Mm,
because it's like not the consistency, it's not the right consistency, and then you're just kind
yeah.
of like it's still a little bit chewy, but it's like it was like if have you ever gotten boba and then like not finished it and then put it in the fridge like it'll be fine and it's
Yeah.
not fine later?
Nope. It's the worst,
Like you
literally.
can't save boba.
Or like someone buys you boba and you're like, oh, I'll drink it later, and you pop it in the fridge.
No,
No.
it's
Only do
something that
that
you
if
have
your
to have
toppings are
immediately.
like pudding or
Hmm.
like grass jelly or
Yeah,
something like that.
which I never get fruity things, so I never. Well, I guess pudding you can put into
Yeah, you
like
can put
non-fruity
pudding
things,
into
but
anything.
I just usually like I'm trying to get the cheapest thing, but I want boba, so
Mm.
it's like I'm just gonna get boba added.
Do you are you for or against the mini pearls?
I like them sometimes.
Yeah,
It just depends.
I just find they go away too fast.
Yeah, because they you suck up like five at once.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Although I guess you should use a smaller straw at that point.
I guess, but kind of part of the fun about boba is using the big straw.
The big straw. Oh, look at this straw. It's not mine, it's my roommate's, but it's one of the metal ones, but it's like iridescent rainbow. Audio pod listeners, you can't see this, so sorry for your life. But
This is
like,
probably all just going to be audio, so
oh
just
yeah, no.
listeners in
Oh, I did
general.
not assume. But like, you can't see it, so sorry.
But it's
But yeah,
beautiful.
it's like a. How would you explain this?
Yeah, iridescent.
Iridescent.
But like a dark like there's the light iridescent that's like clear. This is like the
Hmm.
metal iridescent, like
Yeah,
oil
like the kind
slick.
yeah, oil slick. I love that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like the kind you'd see on like a sports car from the '90s,
Yes.
like cruising USA.
Cruising USA.
You know what I'm
Do
talking about,
people in
right?
Canada like say things like that about the USA?
About like what?
United States like related things, or is there like a Canada version of like cruising USA?
No, I think it's just called cruising USA. Yeah, like the game. Because like all the race tracks were like LA, New York, and like
Yeah. But
things
like
like.
if you're making a joke, does anyone like oh, my dog is doing something.
I just heard a big sniff.
Oh, was it a sniff? I thought he was like he does have like
Um,
a little toy that makes a crinkly sound.
oh, maybe.
I don't know what he's doing. Also, fun thing that just happened in the past like 24 hours. My dad decided to put like a little cowbell on. So we have what are the blinds called? So we have a sliding glass door to the backyard
Hmm.
with those blinds that like it's
Those
like those panels that
the
like
vertical ones, the plastic
yeah, are they
vertical.
vertical blinds? Is that what they're called?
I guess.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Anyway, they're like movable, essentially, is
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. So the bottom of them is like very close to the ground. And my dad put a little bell on it because my dog, like when he needs to go outside, we don't have a dog door, so you have to let him out. He'll hit the blinds, but sometimes
Hmm.
you can't really hear it. So my dad put a bell on it. And last night we're like, let's see if he hits the bell to like tell us he wants to go outside. And last night he did it, but we were like, we don't know if it was just a fluke because it's attached to the
Hmm.
blinds that he always hits. But then earlier today, he like deliberately went to the bell to tell me that he needed to go outside. And it
Oh,
was
he's
so cute.
learning.
I was like,
You
you
should
can teach an old dog new tricks. Like he's
you should put jingle
11.
bells because it's Christmas.
Yeah. I need to
Although I
get
guess
some.
there it's not Christmas yet because Thanksgiving is.
Oh yeah, because you already had Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving was in October for
Hmm.
us.
Thanksgiving is this week for us, but your episode is going
Will
up
come
the
after.
Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's Christmas. Put jingle bells.
Yeah. Time to put jingle bells. Oh my
Like my
gosh.
mom always has bells on our front door.
Hmm.
Like on the handle of our front door, there's like bells that are hanging from it.
Hmm.
So that like if the front door opens, you can hear it all
Yeah.
throughout the house. I think that's for like safety and intruder
Yeah.
situation. But then in Christmas times, she'll change that and add jingle bells.
Yeah. We always have jingle bells on our door, but we don't put a bell
Yeah.
on in regular
Mm.
times. We like never use our front door though. Like we
Yeah,
always
you
go
guys
through
go
the
through the
garage.
garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that like everyone knows that. Well, because our garage like goes straight into our house.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're driving your oh well, and we park our cars in the garage. I feel like that's not as common like
Yeah.
as at least like in people that I know in California. Like a
Yeah,
lot of
I feel
people
like
use
a
their
lot of
garage
people
for
use
storage.
storage
Yeah.
and like hoarding.
Yeah, which we do have a lot of things stored in the garage, but I come from like two very like organized kind of
People.
people. So it's like literally like I remember because sometimes we'd like open our garage and either like take our cars out so like the neighbors could come in. Like this was when we were little and like everyone would just open their garage and like
Mhm.
mingle in the neighborhood kind of thing. And people would always comment on like you can fit both cars in here, but
Wow.
like all the storage space and blah blah blah. And I'd be like a kid, so I'm like, I don't give a shit about this. But now as
This
an
adult
adult,
stuff.
now as an adult, I'm like, okay, I can appreciate this. Like this is
Yeah.
actually pretty impressive. Like my
You
parents
know you're
pulled
an
this
adult
off.
when.
So true.
Just like, wow, you can fit both cars in your
And
garage.
like we still are hoarders, but like
Mhm.
kind of organized hoarders, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's
So
fine. That's what Marie Kondo says. You're allowed to keep whatever you want as long as it's in an accessible place that it can bring you joy.
yeah. And a lot of
Harken
things
back to
bring joy.
2019 or
TBT. Okay,
2018. When
that feels
was
so long ago, the Marie
it? Was
Kondo
it?
craze.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think that was 2018. Now that I think about it,
Yeah,
when her show came out. But
I don't even know. I just knew that I'm not gonna follow this.
I did it for my clothes.
That's good.
I did the whole like dump it all on your bed and then give away a bunch of things. And
Hmm.
only once or twice have I been like, "Where's this thing?" Oh, I gave it away. But other than
Um,
that, I don't remember anything else.
yeah. I mean, this past summer, because I hadn't completely cleaned out my childhood closet
Hmm.
since high school. Like, I still had some clothes in there from high school. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm never going to wear these again. So I
Sorry for
finally,
like sucking out the straw. Like I had my
no,
last like
do
3 months.
not apologize. You are living your boba truth. You're having a QQ moment. Um,
But yeah, your childhood closet.
Yeah, so I finally did that because also I came back home with all of my shit from New York, and so I needed to make space for
Hmm.
that. Um, so and there was so much stuff. I was like, literally, why do I have this still? Like for no reason.
Yeah,
No
unless
reason
you're
at
still
all.
using it, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like my mom still has clothes that like in our old house that are like mine. I'm like, Mom, you can get rid of those. I'm never gonna wear them again. Like
Yeah.
if Dad wants to wear them, sure, but like you can get rid of them because like why are you holding them on? I've lived here in Canada for 7 years now.
Yeah, we're like, Kevin's never coming back. I think I saw your mom one time, like maybe at like some choir thing or
Hmm.
something. And this was like just a few years ago. So you were obviously in Canada. And, every time I see her, we just always say we miss you. Like, oh, I miss Kevin. She's like, me too. And I'm like, well, obviously you do. You're his mom. Um, but I feel like maybe she's like, oh, like these are like the last things I have of him because we always just are like
I guess.
Kevin's gone
Yeah,
forever.
well,
Like,
she has a new grandchild now, so
yeah, I haven't seen
whatever.
her since the grandchild, so maybe things have changed.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of like high school clothes, we're completely off topic now.
Oh,
But
I don't care. This is
do you
snack
still
time.
wear clothes from that you had in high school?
I think at this point, no.
Mm.
Mostly because I no longer fit in them. Like,
Oh,
I
true.
Yeah. My womanhood has, you know, brought me a much more
Blossomed.
curvier body than I had in 2011.
That's true. But
Wow,
yeah,
9 years since I graduated.
for me, it's 10.
I know. Were you so obviously there was no like 10-year high school reunion because of COVID. Were you like considering going to it if it happened?
So there was like a group on Facebook that was talking about the reunion and like when it would happen or whatever. I said that I would go if it happened at a time that I would have been going to California anyways. So
That
like
makes
my
sense.
nephew's birthday is in July. So like
Hmm.
if I was in July and it happened to be around then maybe I would go. But
Yeah.
I'm not booking a ticket all the way back there just to go
Just
to a
to
reunion.
flex.
Especially like when like I'm still friends with the people that I want to be friends with, right?
Right,
Like
exactly.
and so I don't know that I care to randomly see the other people. I already see them
Hmm.
on Facebook. Like I don't
Yeah. I think social media and technology and the internet and blah blah blah, et cetera, has like totally changed basically like everyone's perspectives
on
on
reunions.
reunions because like we know what's going on.
Yeah. Or
My
like if you're
dream
if you're ever
though,
curious with like, oh, I wonder what that person's doing. You just look them up and
yeah,
then
literally Google them and something will
yeah.
probably come up. But my dream has always been to like Romy and Michelle it and just like come back looking ridiculous and like being just a fool and just like but like everyone already sees that I guess because that's just how I am in my
Yeah. Like on
day-to-day life
purpose.
like on social media, so
But
yeah.
it's great though. And plus like Romy and Michelle acted like that because like they were actually kind of losers. Right? Like from what I
Yeah, it
remember, they
is.
like they like made a bunch of stuff up to
Yeah,
like
they
hype
like
themselves
pretended
up,
that
but
they
they ended up
invented post-its and like
yeah.
I
I
don't
need to
know. I
watch that
just
movie
want what
again.
is that actor who is like also in Spy Kids but is in that movie? What's his name? Dang it. I
Floop,
forget.
right?
Yeah, Floop. I just like love him. So I'm like, I want like that. I guess I just love Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. So like
Yeah.
that's how I'm like, oh, that would be like a dream
Lying
reunion.
in
Not even to
your
be any of the main characters, but just to like watch that kind of thing happen. Like
the
I would
time
just
after
love that.
time dance happened in front of the fucking hotel underneath a helicopter spotlight.
Call me crazy, but that's my dream.
If you ever get married, that should be like your first dance.
Oh
Bring
my
a
god.
helicopter.
That would be so
Play time
a
after
Romeo and
time.
Michelle's like themed wedding. How fucking psychotic would
That'd
that
be
be?
so funny.
And
Oh my
everyone had to like
god.
dress in theme. Honestly, that's like I probably will have some kind of themed wedding at this
Yeah.
point.
I was talking to Mallory last week because one of our good friends, Kristen, got married last week
Oh my
on
god,
Zoom. Yeah,
yes.
and so we were talking about like what would be like a fun, like different kind of wedding to do, and I was like, what if you had it in the summer and then you had a water balloon fight wedding? Obviously, like no, like you want to get the guests participating, right? Like, so
Water
like
balloon fight is the theme of the
yeah,
wedding
I
though.
think it'd be funny. Like you're all informal, and then like let's just impale each other with water
That would
balloons.
be fun. I
It
mean,
would be
it
fun.
yeah, it's like food fight, but not as like
Yeah,
disgusting.
or wasteful.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Biodegradable balloons, if that's a thing.
If that's a thing. Oh
They
my
should make it a
god.
thing because it's so hard to pick up those like little.
So true. Like especially if you do it on like grass and it just gets like tucked into the blades of grass.
The strands of hair on the floor.
Oh my gosh, but I don't think it was going to be themed, but my parents when they told me that when they were first looking at venues, they
Mhm.
considered a pirate ship.
I love that, and
I don't think it
that
would
makes
have been
sense.
themed pirate, but I think my mom also
On a
really
pirate
liked
ship.
like she said that I think I'm pretty sure I'm not making this up. She like liked the idea of a black gown too. But instead they
Mm.
got married in a Catholic church and my mom wore a white poofy 80s dress.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds like
they
the
considered
doings
being
of the society.
yeah, they considered being alternative. I think that
They should have like a reunion or like a renewal of the vows on a pirate ship in a black
it
dress.
would be so cool. I think another problem was it was going to be like a very limited amount of people could be on the pirate ship and obviously a Catholic church you can
uh
fit a lot more people. So,
yeah. Oh well.
Oh my gosh. How did
Have
we
a bubble
even
tea
get to
wedding.
this? How did we even go from bubble tea to pirate
Although
ship
I
wedding?
do think, like, you know how like wedding receptions will have like some people will have like a late night pizza bar or like a
Mm-hmm.
taco truck. Someone should just have a boba bar.
Oh, I volunteer as tribute. I
Do
want
it.
to have a boba bar at my wedding because
Do the
I'm.
boba bar,
I
but
mean,
like
I
you can't make it
obviously,
alcoholic because alcohol and
yeah,
milk is like no.
yeah. I was just gonna say like because especially like I'm not a big alcohol drinker. Like I
Yeah,
want to
same.
have an open at my dream wedding. There would be an open bar for like all my friends and family that do like to drink, but like I don't really drink
Yeah.
much. But weed is legal in California, so I would just be like, oh my god, I would get like the prettiest, like sparkliest, pretty little bong, and just be like, you know, be like, let it rip, like
Part of the
beginning of the
ceremony is
party.
you guys toking from the same
Ceremony.
pot.
Like the reception.
Imagine though. Okay,
Instead of
like
like clinking champagne, I'll be like, everyone now get out either your champagne or your little baby bong and or like bubbler. How cute would that be though? That would actually be so cute. Like it's so
the wedding
inclusive.
the wedding gift or like parting gift thing is like tiny pipes.
Like engraved with me
Yeah.
and my person's names on
Tiny
them.
glass pipes that are like white and clear, and then it has the initials. They're monogrammed.
Oh my gosh.
Marnogrammed.
And oh my god. Okay, we have reached the hour mark.
Oh, we have blasted through
We
it.
It's always such a fun time talking to you, Kevin. Obvi, we're
Pleasure.
friends, but like especially on the pod. Thank you for coming
Mm-hmm.
again and
Of
bringing
course.
O's, what is it called? O's instant bubble tea and just like boba in general.
Yeah, bubble tea in general.
So
Um,
good.
I
Anyway,
finished that so quick. Like my problem with bubble tea, real quick, is that if I get bubble tea and we're on the way home, I'm done that before I get into the door. Like it's gone.
yeah. I mean, that I used to say back when it was really hard for me to drink water in college.
Mhm.
I used to say like I wish boba like tasted good in water because I would drink so much more water because I'm a pretty slow drinker and I think this is like
Mhm.
pretty well known amongst my friends and family. But give me a boba and where'd it go?
It's the big straw. You just have to drink your water with the big straw.
I guess
That's it.
so.
Try
I
it.
usually don't use a straw when I drink water, though, is the problem. I
Oh,
guess I gotta
okay.
change my ways. It's a lifestyle, boba straw drinking.
Well, you have to try that, and then next time I'm on the pod, I'll ask for the update. Like, how is the water going?
I mean, I can drink. I'm better at drinking water now. Like, I'm talking in college when I was like, water? What's water? Also, like, okay, we're getting off topic again, and like I said that we are gonna end the episode.
I'm sorry.
Can we briefly talk about how we did not drink water as kids?
No, not at all. I was
Like,
a juice
how
kid.
insane.
Minute
I was a
Maid
juice
fruit
kid too.
punch.
Juice and milk. And like at lunch, when they served us hot lunch from the cafeteria,
Mm-hmm. Milk.
you would think they would give you water. No, it was
No.
milk or juice. Like,
Milk or juice.
what?
That was your
Were we
choices.
just so dehydrated?
Even in like daycare, we never like the only time I drank water was from the drinking fountain.
Yeah, same. Like, I don't think I brought a water bottle to school until high
No,
school.
no, not at all.
So
Weird.
crazy.
Our
Anyway, I mean,
childhood.
that kind of brings us back to drinks and boba.
Yeah.
So if you were listening and drinking some boba along with us, cheers to you. Thank you for listening. Kevin,
Cheers.
thanks again for coming on.
Of
Obviously, you're going to come back
course.
probably before Christmas because now I want to bake some Pillsbury break. What are they called? Break and
Yes.
bake?
Break and bake
So,
cookies.
you guys, you got to subscribe if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever app you're using. Hit the subscribe button. If you're listening on YouTube, which somehow the YouTube views have been popping off lately,
Boop, boop.
I don't know why, but cool. If you're here, subscribe, please. And Kevin, do you have anything you want to tell the snackers, the listeners, before we go?
I mean, you can follow me on all my socials. Nothing has changed since the last episode. So, Kevin John Shazzy, but I do not post very often because I experience social media the way I like to, which is just to scroll. I'll post like 3 posts like a season, maybe, on Instagram.
A seasonal post.
Yeah, seasonal posts. But yeah, if anything, catch me on the pod next time.
Yes.
Bye, Michelle.
Bye.